Welcome back to Soda City Living. Take a step back in time at one of 5 historic home tours in Columbia, led by Historic Columbia. Check it out. Joining us now is Ebony, who's going to walk us through some of the highlights of this amazing building. Thanks for having us.
Excited to have you here as well. So we are currently in the Robert Mills House, built in 1823 for Ainsley and Sarah Hall. However, unfortunately, they were not able to live in this home, so it spent the majority of its time as the building or the home to the Columbia Theological Seminary, which you'll see, I'm sure y'all are coming back as well. Y'all will have some more insight on how some of our houses actually interact with that here in this vicinity that we're in.
Yeah, so one thing to point there is that many people know this as the Robert Mills House, but it wasn't always that. So it was a school for a while, and then how did it become the Robert Mills House?
So with the saving of this home in 1961 and of course the creation of Historic Columbia is how it started to revert to that name of Robert Mills, really for who Robert Mills was. So he was actually the first architect for the state as well as the federal government here. And also, I'm sure a lot of people, if they've been to our capital, not our state capital, but our U.S. capital in Washington, D.C., there is a monument there, the Washington Monument, that he was architect for as well, and that's one of his best known works. But he has a lot of buildings here in South Carolina, even right down the street at USC.
Right, so a lot of people are just in awe of the architecture of this building here, the Robert Mills House. So what's so special about it?
So the main thing here with Robert Mills' work in general, with his neoclassical architecture, is symmetry. So as you walk through the house today, you'll see he does everything within the name of symmetry, even having potential fake doors in some rooms depending on where you are. And also with his fireproofing technology that he developed during this time as well, that would be put into homes for a more modern turn during this time period.
Wow, so with the renovation of this home and the decoration as well, you can tell it's definitely from a different time period. So what is Historic Columbia trying to showcase in this home? So
in all of our houses, we like to make sure that everything is period piece. So everything in this house is not necessarily original to the home, but it is from the 1820s and 1830s specifically for this home, because we have addressed, of course, in the time period in which Ainsley and his wife would have stayed here, and as well as a little bit of his time here with the Theological Seminary.
So describe to us some of the decorations that people may see here and what that kind of looks like for that 1820s, 1830s period.
So one we have in our formal dining area, which is across from where we are right now, would be what I call the Taylor table. It actually belonged to one of the founding families here in Columbia, so that's a very big highlight that we have here. In our room that we are adjacent to in the twin parlors, we do have some older instruments. We have a harp, we have a piano, as well, I believe a violin or a viola as well over there. So kind of something that you see today in some respects, but more, of course, old spin on new items that we have today. So also showing how things have really not changed as much when we think about furniture and things like that.
Definitely. So tell us about the room that we're standing in right now.
So this is a part of the twin parlors as well. So across from us would have been more where you have had your musical aspect with dancing and music being played. Here's kind of more of a tea time setup here. You're also playing chess here as well. And we have our Recamere seats here, so for socializing and sitting while you're here in the space. I will highlight while we're in here, we do have this painting. It is of Miss Elizabeth Lyons. She is the wife of the second Jewish mayor here in Columbia, Henry Lyons. So one thing we do like to do as well within our houses is highlight other Columbia history, as well as highlighting what happened in the same time period, and I believe it's in the 1850s for them being here.
So what would you tell someone who doesn't realize that Historic Columbia is doing all of this and maybe wants to come and try out a tour?
So I would say more than likely, just from experience with the tours, it's not what a lot of people expect from antebellum housing tours. We make sure that we include all the stories of those who lived and worked here on the site. That's for all of our houses, not just here at Robert Mills. And also just seeing how much Columbia has changed over time from the time period, because this house here, our oldest house is 201 years old. And just seeing how that still remains here in the capital city and how we can learn from our past and go progressively into our future.
Definitely. And we're on the main floor here, right? Is there an upstairs and a downstairs as well?
Yes.
So what's on those floors?
Okay, so upstairs we have a bedroom to show off as well. We have the silver room, And we have another room where we focus on a little bit about Mary Boykin Chestnut, a little bit of her history as it relates here to South Carolina history. So we also have the silver and pottery room as well upstairs. Now downstairs in the basement, it's more that informal experience of the family was living here and they didn't have any guests or anybody to entertain. So we have an informal dining room area. We kind of have a prep kitchen, if you will, because during this time, of course, there were not kitchens within the home for that fire hazard, as well as a room that kind of shows where the enslaved would have worked in the home had Miss Sarah Hall been here tending to the house as well. We do have very elaborate gardens here. At one point they were nationally known, and now it's actually something new that's here for us. Monday through Sunday you can visit our gardens and look for those times, of course, on our website at historiccolumbia.org for the specific timing for that period, but of course for our tours that is Wednesday through Sunday, and those various times are posted on our website as well.
Amazing, thanks so much.
You're welcome.